guys, I'm Rita. In today's episode, I am business owner where I buy in bulk items and resell them. So buy and sell business. I only use or mainly use on online platforms to sell my items. And to manage my business operations, I have decided to start using an accounting software called Akaunting. So let's get set up on accounting and make sure that all my settings are aligned so I can successfully start issuing invoices, record transactions, and at the end of the day, have an insight in reports and make sure that I'm not making a loss. Okay guys, let's register my buy and sell business on Akaunting. So search by Akaunting, click on it, we'll be directed to their web browser page, and let's get started. Okay, register a new account. Okay, my name. I agree to terms of service and privacy policy and click on register. Okay, to activate account, I need to check an email. Let's go to email, welcome, and let's confirm email address. So now I need to add some details about my business, about my team, and what is my role and etc. So my first name and surname is the same as I entered at the very beginning. So what my company do, and in my case, I will be under other because I have buy and sell or resell business. But if your business type falls in one of the provided, for example, like maybe retail or health and wellness, or maybe even real estate and property management, just select one of what applicable to your business. My role in a company, I'm a owner. Is there owner? Yeah, owner and founder. But if you are CEO, CFO, which means Chief Finance Officer or Chief Operations Officer, so if you have a big company and you've got these roles, so you can select one of provided, or maybe you are an accountant or bookkeeper who is setting up business, select one which applies to you. So I'm owner and founder of my company. How long I have been in business? Mine is quite new, then I will say less than a year. But if you are falling in one of provided brackets, just select one which is applicable to you. So I will say less than a year. Number of team members. Currently, I haven't got anyone else in my team, so I would say just me. But if I plan in the future to recruit a team as my business would grow, I would say 2 to 4, or maybe you have a huge team, maybe you have more than 50 employees, and select the one which applies to you. I will just say the 2 to 4 in this case to me. What do you use to bill your customers? So if it's spreadsheets or different accounting system, just select which is applicable. I will say that I don't use anything at the moment, so accounting is the very first accounting software that I start to use. And maybe pen and paper was previously, but because I've been operating less than a year, I would say that I don't use anything. Okay, what you would like to do on accounting here, you can select any of these features or functions what you can enable on your accounting software. So organize your expenses. Yeah, if I travel around, I want to organize, so just click again and you will be able to add next one. So track your tax. I'm not VAT registered business at the moment, then I will select, so in case if I'm registered as VAT business in the future, I will be able to track your tax or enable functions for it. Okay, I'll click again, manage your inventory. Maybe in future, I'm quite small at the moment, I can manage my inventory, but if I want to manage my stock or inventory levels in the future, I would be interested to manage my inventory. Pay your employees. I consider this one if I have team or if I will have a team in the future. Send and track invoices, definitely. I want to issue customers from accounting system. And track your bills, which is supplier invoices, definitely as well. Okay, so once you select the ones which are applicable to you, just add to this field. In my case, I have selected all features available. Click next step, and we need to provide a little bit more information. So my company name, I will have Rita K as a business. My language is English, but come on guys, there's loads of provided, even Russian language, Latvian language. You can select one which is applicable. It's accounting is global accounting software or bookkeeping software, so being able to have in different languages, that's a good big bonus. Okay, and then the same way, select also currency. If you can have in different language, you can also select different currency. So in my case, I'm based in United Kingdom, so I will have pound sterling currency. Okay, and where is your company based? I have United Kingdom. Select the one which is appropriate to you. You can see every country, I think so, available in the world is on this list. Okay, and click create a company. Okay, so system is setting up my company, but there should be a couple more steps what we need to set up. Yes, so steps that we need to go through. We can skip if you want, but then you will need to go to settings and add this information at a later point. So we'll click OK here. So I rather suggest you to fill in here, less hassle at a later point. So API key, that's, I think so, is company's code, which might need if you're trying, I think so, download information. So that's more technical term. Okay, tax number. So if you VAT registered business, you can add here. I'm a sole trader, self-employed, so I haven't got a tax number. So even if you have registration number, you can add it here. Financial year start date. So because I'm self-employed, my financial year start date is 6th of April, but select the date which is applicable to you. Maybe you are a small business owner, which is limited company, then your financial year might start, financial year might start on 1st of January or even maybe 1st of September. Select financial year which is applicable to your business start date. Okay, let's add address. So I will add test street, and I will add HH123, H as a postcode. I can add a logo if I have one, and of course you can still change a country. Just select from drop down box. Okay, click save. Next step should be currencies. Here we have two currencies already defaulted, pounds and dollars. If you want, we can edit USD dollars. For example, rate is 1, but if I compared pounds to dollars, I think so dollars are about 1.27 if I'm correct. I'm just saying, taking from my memory, might be already increased or decreased. Okay, so we can edit and we can also delete currency. So British pounds is my main currency, so rate is a 1, and I can add a new currency, for example euros. Select euro and rate, I think so 1.17 currently. Okay, so this is an area where you can add multiple currencies if you want. If you don't want any currencies, you can click and delete and just leave one currency, for example pounds or euros, if you operate only in one currency. Okay, next, here we can set up taxes, for example if you are VAT registered, or GST, HST, IST, depends on which country you are. You can add taxes here. For example, I will add VAT standard. If I could type standard and 20, click save. so it will be standard rate of 20%. We can have also VAT maybe 10% and rate 10. Save. So here you can add different rates. If you have maybe your branch in Australia, then you can add GST rates as well if you need to report or you are registered as tax business in that country as well. Okay, click on next, and here we can go to dashboard straight away. In left hand side there is double entry, estimates, custom fields, inventory and payroll little bit at the bottom. These are additional apps which are recommended because that's what I have selected that possible I want to do in the future, but those are for a paid feed separately. Okay, let's go to dashboard now. Okay, so this is how my dashboard looks like on accounting. And before we jump to the next section, I will quickly scan through settings to make sure that my business is actually set up and ready to issue invoices and I have no issues. So when you go to left hand side, there is a settings icon. Click on settings, and there is multiple like sections which we need to make sure that we have aligned or enabled, so there is no missing features when we issuing invoices or recording transactions and etc. So top one is about company, so if any changes need to be made here at company level, they can be done here. We'll not go in details because we set up that one. Localization, that means about when financial year starts, so mine starts on 6th of April, and then I can select financial year denote, so by the year in which it begins or by the year in which it ends. In my case this one is by the year in which it begins. Okay, so 6th April of 2022. And preferred dates, so if you want change date format and date separator, you can change it here. So if you want start with year followed by month and date, you can come here or and change, or if you want full December to show up, that's how you can change your date format. Okay, and under others there is time zone, percentage position and discount location if you want to use these features and they need to be changed. You can find them under localization section. Invoice, here this is area where we want to add any prefixes or change. For example, invoice will start with INV, but if I want invoices to start with RK, for example, as with my business initials, I can change them here, or RKINV, I can leave in this way. It's up to you, so that will be prefix before invoice will start. Digit number, number digits, that means how many digits are following after this dash, so there will be 5, and if my number starts with, invoices starts with 1000, then it will be 0,000, that's how invoice will look like. Payment terms, I can change, so for example, if I'm giving 30 days to my customers to pay, this is where we can set in default, so we do not need to go and change when all the time when we issue invoices. So I will say due within 15 days. I would preferably want to do 7 days, but they don't provide 7 days here. Okay, and then I can select one of the templates provided. I will go with the default, but you can go with classic or modern. And color, select color scheme if you want. Click on this green circle and you can select one of the colors which you want to choose. Okay, default, so invoice title starts with invoice, but you can add a subheading if you want, as well notes and footer. Maybe you want to add bank details under footer if you want. And about columns, so item name starts with items, so price, quantity, you can change if you want. So this area where we can amend. Okay, we can hide description and we can hide amount if you want. This is where we can change under invoice section. Okay, next is default. Oh, if you change something, don't forget to click save. Yep. Account, so default account, I will add a new account. So I don't have only cash account, I have also bank account. So click on adding new, and I can select bank or credit card. I will have Rita's bank. Rita's bank. Number, I think so it's 8 digits. Currency, it will be in pounds, but because I set up also euros and dollars, I can have bank account in different currencies as well. And opening balance, I had £1,000. Oops. £1,000 in account, and click save. Okay, so now Rita's bank is a defaulted account. It's in currency pounds. Tax, if it's applicable, select. Not applicable in my case. And payment method is bank transfers mainly. Okay, categories, so income category defaulted. In my case it will be sales. I will have no deposit unless I pay in deposit. And expense category, there is only other available. When we will go to categories, we can set up new categories and then default if you want. Okay, and under others there is language and how many records we want per page. So for example, I want 100 records per page. Don't forget save if you do any changes in this section. Okay, email templates. This is quite straightforward, but if you want to change any wording for any of these sections, just click, for example, under new invoice template. You can amend and add more details if you want, or maybe you want to delete something. You can do it here, and when you do any changes, just click save. Okay, scheduling. Under scheduling section, we can send reminders, like enable auto reminders for invoices and for supplier invoices. For supplier invoices, I will receive reminders that, oh, this invoice is due in next day, next 3 days, or within 3 days, or in after 5 days, and etc. So if you want to enable reminders, you can do it here. Okay, categories. Under this section, we can add more categories. So currently we have only 5 categories. There is no category for, let's say, if I have different sales. For example, if I want to separate sales for my products, or my different expenses like travel expenses, rent expenses, phone, internet. These ones we need to add here, or we can add new category when we enter in transactions. So click on new category. Okay, I will add a rent. Color, so for expenses, for example, if you want to use one the same color, or maybe let's select this indigo 600. And type, this is expense, so select one of these, even it's item, other, income, or expense. In my case it is expense code. And if there is parent categories, which I haven't got in this case, just leave as it is and leave blank, I meant, and click save. Okay, so now we have added rent expense. I can edit and I can delete. So when you select this rent, you can enable, disable, so make an inactive, delete, or you can clear, that means that it's removing selections. Okay, so if you want to add another expense, like maybe travel, click on new category, travel. I will change to the same color, which was indigo 600, expense, and save. Okay, so this is a way how you can build up your categories. They will be sorted by name, but if you click on type, it will sort by type, so you can see all the expenses at the top, followed by income, items, and other. Okay, currencies. So we can add more currencies if you want. You can see there is padlock. This means that it's my system defaulted currency is British pounds, but if you want change, you can change to any other one. And to add new currency, click here on new currency. Okay, taxes. Here we can amend different tax rates. We can add new tax. and we can also import export, but I think so those are functions if you have a paid package. So if you click on particular tax code, you can edit or delete if you don't use it. Yeah. Calendar, this is quite useful to see when is your first date, and later calendars are a separate section on dashboard, and that's where you will be able to see how many invoices are issued in which days, and if you have any recurring invoices, so you can manage a flow. Okay, so first day, working day is Monday, and holidays can be enabled or not. In my case, I will not enable holidays, so your preference. Click save. If you want to use live currency, you can use live currency, but then there is a notification about currencies where they are not supported. If you want to use any of services provided to get live currency or exchange rates, you can do it. So just select the one which you want to use, and if you select, click save to save changes. Okay, we can also enable offline payments. Okay, so add a new bank account, order, and show to customers these details. So for example, name, I will say okay, enter order. I have already offline on, okay, I have bank transfers there. So this is a so I have bank transfers and cash, but if there is backs, chaps, or maybe checks, these can be set up here. Information what I entered incorrectly. So example, I have backs, I think so it is part of bank transfers, but I will just add order. This should be, I will put 2, and in description I can add bank transfer. Okay, and show to customers, I'll click yes and click save. It will add offline payment method below. Okay, PayPal standard, under here we can enable PayPal, so customers can pay via PayPal if you want, but when we will go and issue invoices, there is more apps available where you can enable your customers will be able to pay in different ways. So for example, there is Stripe, Klarna, PayPal, and etc. We will cover that one a little bit later, but PayPal standard, I think so, is just kind of a priority on accounting, so you can enable information here, and yeah, so customers can use this link. Okay, so we covered settings. To come out from settings, click on this cross icon, and we are back to our dashboard. So in this section we set up my business, or I set up my business, and I went through settings section. Also there is a help icon if you need to have more information about any of sections, if you are not sure how to approach or what to do there. So let's move on to next section. I have been selling my items as part of my buy and sell business for some time now, and as I start using accounting, I want to utilize an option to have a separate item description or lines for every item what I'm selling. So I have wooden forks what I'm selling, I have biodegradable straws, either in mixed color or yellow and green. Also I have masks, so face masks are in trend currently. So those items I'm selling, so how I can add these on accounting. Let's have a look on next section called items. So now let's have a look at item section. I have different kind of masks. Yeah, so I can set up each color mask separately, so when I issue invoices, it's easier for me to pick up from my items list And also I can add a purchasing price as well as selling price. So let's have a look on items section. Click on items on your left hand side, and here we need to add new item. Okay, new items are in two parts, so products or services. In my case I have products, so I enter name, so I will have mask and I will say I have blue. I can select the category. I will have costs of sales. Let's add new category. It will be masks. Okay. And category I will have yellow 300. Save. So that's my product category. So I will have mask, blue, and I will add description, face mask, blue, and I will put one piece. Or I can add each, so I'm selling one by one. Okay, and now under billing I have two parts. If I only want to provide sales information, I can add sales price here, and I can disable purchase information. So because I'm buying in bulk, I will have one price for bulk purchase, but I'm selling one by one. So in my case, I will deselect purchase information, so I'm able to just, when I will issue invoice, just to pick up that price. Okay, so sales price, I have 150 per mask, and if you are tax registered, don't forget to add tax. Okay, and click save. I will just copy information from description and save. Okay, so mask blue being added. So let's add new item, and I will add mask. I had green, face mask green. Okay, and category I will have face masks. It's the same, 50, and save. Okay, and let's add. Okay, so if I have items already added, I can edit, duplicate, or delete. So I will duplicate blue masks information. I will just change description here. I will say red. It's the same category, red, and each. Okay, and billing, it's 150. Click save. So if I have multiple products, I can actually duplicate previous ones. If I select this item, I can enable, disable. So if I have obsolete stock or do not need to issue invoices for particular product anymore, I can disable. I can delete it. I can also export, or I can clear. If I hover above that line, as I said, I can edit, duplicate, or delete. So if I click edit, I will be brought back to the same screen. Okay, let's click cancel. We are back to our list of items. At the top, I can add new item. I can manage inventory, but to manage inventory, this is a paid service, so I can enable option to add as per $6 per month and use stock management system. So there is short tutorial, reviews, installations, documentation, and screenshot about inventory. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to items. Under three dots, I can import and export. If I have full list of items, I can do it. So aside from having masks, I also sell wooden forks and straws, biodegradable straws. So the same way, I will add new items. Okay, products. So for example, I have wooden fork, category, I will add, it will not fall under face masks or general, I will have new category. It's for say party and fun, so for picnics and etc. And I will put pink 500 as a group. Description, wooden fork, and wooden forks I have 16 centimeters in a size, and they're selling as each, okay. And in my case, I buy wooden forks at cheap, so I'm purchasing them for 7 cents or pence, and I actually sell for 50 cents each, okay. And click save. So now I have purchase information for wooden forks as well. So easy and simple to add items, but we can also add services, and this service is not only service what I will provide, but also service what I would receive. So for example, if I have the same price or rate for service, then I can add it here. So my service in this case is phone bill, for example, yeah. So I will put phone bill and category. I will add category, and I will call this one business expenses, okay. And I will select, oops, dark, save. So phone bill, and I will just add here. And in this case I will deselect sales information, and I will have purchase information, yeah. So every month I have phone bill for £10, which is business related, and when I will add a phone bill, I will be able to pick up and rate will be filled in automatically for me, yeah. And the same I can add for office rent item, okay. So let's add new item, service, and I will have rent, and category business expenses. Deselect sales, I'm not selling, but I am purchasing, so I have 150 per month, and click save. Okay, so now I can see business expenses is here. I have part in fun items which I'm reselling and buying, and then there is face masks. So this is a way how you can add an items, either products or services, as well as adding products or services that you are not selling but actually incur as a business. Okay guys, look what I've got. So I have a new supplier, and new supplier will provide black masks. Oh, they look cool. And plus there is special masks which are FFP2s in white and grey color. Those are the most expensive ones. And also I purchased additional batches of green and red masks because people like different colors. It starts to become like a trend. So different colors are cool now. So how I can add a new vendor for my new masks on accounting, as well as how I can record invoices that I've been issued to. Plus, as you can see, I have new office, and I have signed a contract for 1 year because my business is expanding, and I need a place away from home where I can manage my business operations. So how I can set up a recurring supplier invoice on accounting. Let's have a look on next section called purchases. So now let's look at purchases, and under purchases section on left hand side we have bills, which are supplier invoices section, and vendors, which are our suppliers. So firstly, let's add new suppliers. Click on vendors. Here we can add a new vendor. We need to fill in information, so we need to add a general information and then billing information. So let's start at the top. Let's add details of my supplier. Firstly, I had supplier by limited. If you have email address, phone number, picture, website or reference to use. For example, I have buy purchase order 1 2 3 4 5. I can add it here. And then I have billing section in which I need to add a tax number if that's applicable and change a currency if I have supplier in different currency. Address, I have by street, okay, I added by town there. Postal code is on the top as well. Okay, and country is United Kingdom. So I added address in box, but you can add city, town here, postcode or zip code here, and state or province if you have here. Okay, and click save. Okay, so here when we would click on our customers, on our supplier card, contact card, we will see bills and transactions here. At this moment there is 0 because I haven't added any invoices yet. At the top I have option to add a bill or expense. I have option to edit this supplier, see statement, and duplicate or delete. So in my case I will duplicate this supplier. Okay, and I have new supplier which provides masks, and it's called Masks Limited or Mask Limited. Okay, it's the same. If you have email, pictures, you can add there, and if you have reference number to quote, add it here, otherwise just leave blank. Billing information, I have currency in pounds, so street, I have Happy Street, I will say London, and I'm just making up postcode, but that's postcode for this business, and click save. Okay, so now I have Buy Limited and Mask Limited as my two suppliers. If I hover above, I have an option to show this supplier, edit, duplicate or delete. If I select the supplier at the top, I have option to enable or disable, so it's make inactive and then later make active if you start to use it again, delete, export, and also clear information. Okay, so let's add new vendors, and those two vendors are my business or office providers for services. So let's add new vendor. I have Post Limited for getting my parcels out and my envelopes and etc. Currencies in pounds. I have Post Street. Okay, so these are all at this moment my suppliers. Now how I can record invoices. So if I go to bills section, I can add a new supplier invoice by clicking on new bill, and here I just need to fill in details. So top section is billing section and bottom section is advanced, where I can select categories and etc. Okay, so let's start from the top. Firstly, I need to select vendor, which is supplier. So in my case, I had Buy Limited, where I purchased my basic simple masks. Invoice issued from supplier was on 1st of June, and bill number, it is bill 4 digits and then followed by 1, but I have buy invoice, so I have supplier invoice number, and that's buy 1 2 3 4 5 6, and due date is taking 12 days. Okay, so if it's first, I have 15 days, so it follows here. Okay, so supplier have given me 14 days to pay this invoice. Okay, let's add an item. Because we added items previously, I'm able actually to select. So blue masks, it is quantity 1, but I will say that I'm actually purchasing pack of 500. Okay, so 1 pack of 500 costs to me £50. Okay, add the next item. I had masks green, the same. I had pack of 500, so I'm purchasing in bulk. And then reselling as a singles. Okay, and the same, I had a red. Okay, pack of 500. And as you notice, price is 0, because when I set up these items, I said that there is no purchase price, but the reason was because I'm not buying as a single item, so I'm purchasing in bulk, so I can add my rates here. So I have pack of 500 of red face masks, and I purchase them for £50. Okay, if supplier have provided discount, I can add discount here, and I can add as a percentage or as an amount. So if supplier would have provided me £15 discounts, I can apply, and this would take off, and this would be my new total amount. Okay, next, if I have a percentage, then add 10%, and of course 10% out of 150 is £15 as well. So just select one which is applicable. If there is no discount, just click on delete. Okay, let's take it out, delete, and it removes. Okay, we can change currency if there is different currency here. We can add notes if there is any notes on supplier invoice. Maybe we need to use a reference when we are paying, then you can add information here. And under advanced section, here we need to select category. That's cost category. So I have already provided different categories under my settings, as in previous section. At the very first section, we covered categories that you need to add and create if you want to track different expenses. So in my case, I have cost of sales for masks. There can be cost of sales for packaging materials and etc. So in my case, I have for masks, and I can attach attachment. For example, if I have received a bill, I will say, let's say green limited bill. Okay, and click save. So you can add an attachment. This supplier invoice, once you're adding at the beginning, it is a draft status. So if you actually have received, you will need to mark received. So I'm marking received because I have actually received. And if I have made a payment or deposit payment, I can add payment by clicking on add payment, and then I can add in information, yeah, or in other ways how it's being paid. Yeah, okay. And then there is attachments. I can download attachment what I have attached. In right hand side, that's the entry of a supplier invoice. That's how it looks like. I can add new bill. I can edit this current one what I have added, or I can duplicate, print, download, cancel, and delete. So multiple options. If I go to bill section, this is a line of my invoice, and when I hover above, it can show me, so it's preview of this invoice. I can edit, duplicate, and print, download, cancel, or delete. If you select it, there is options like mark received, cancel, delete, download, or export, and clear. Yeah. So let's add another supplier invoice, and that was for my new additions to my stock, and there were my black masks as well as special masks, FFP2s. So those being purchased from new supplier. So let's add bill for that supplier as well. Okay, so now when I go to my bills, I can see invoice for new items, for new black masks, FFP2 masks, and including shipping, have been in status of draft. So when you tick and mark as received, this means that I have received that. Even if, for example, if you're waiting for stock and you haven't yet received it, so you can control in that way. Or if you received your invoice with stock, then you can mark as received. So, okay, my status is now received for stock and for an invoice. Okay. Now I have this new office and that's for 1 year. So I have rented this office for 1 year. To add a recurring expense, recurring supplier invoice, you can see there is recurring templates in the next section, and this place where we can add a recurring supplier invoice. So instead of manually adding, we can add or create a recurring invoice. So in my case, I will add vendor, and vendor will be new vendor called Rent Limited. So Rent Limited. I can add email, phone, tax number, change currency. I can also add an address of this company and add any other information. For example, reference, I can add contract 2022, okay, and click save. So it has picked up my Rent Limited here. Bill date and invoice number, it will be auto-generated based on a system, and payment due date due on upon receipt, but you can change if you want. So in my case, it needs to be paid immediately when invoice is added on system or received. Okay, add an item, and I have rent here, and I have agreement for 150 as a rental price. If there is any other charges, you can add more. It's similar way like adding new invoice. Okay, if there is discount, we can add the discount, and we can add notes. Here is a section called schedule, and that's where we can add information or change information aligned with this contract. So my rent bills are monthly, and first bill need to be created from today. Okay, leave 13th of June, and it ends after on or never. So on, it will be on particular date, after how many bills, or I can say never, so it will be ongoing until I decide to cancel or stop the service, or service will be stopped by any of both parties. Yeah, so in my case, I will have after 12 bills because I have agreement for 1 year. And under advanced section, I can select an expense category. So I have under others, there is a rent, and I can attach attachment like a contract, for example, and click save. So now under create, I can edit, and this will edit an invoice. Schedule, I can see that it needs to repeat every 1 month since 13th of June. So next will be on 13th July and ends after 12 times. An invoice, there is no invoices yet created. At the top, I can edit and I can duplicate. I can also end this recurring or delete. So if I go back to my purchases and bills and click on recurring templates, I can see my rent recurring supplier invoice added, and status is active and ends after 12 times. I can preview it, I can edit, duplicate, or I can end or cancel. At the top I have option to add new recurring bill, and also I can import if I have import template or file to import multiple recurring invoices. Yeah, so okay, so this is a way how we can add suppliers, how we can add supplier invoices, as well as how we can create a recurring supplier invoice on accounting. So selling masks have really exploded in recent couple months as a business. So I'm preparing my items and to dispatch, but I need to also issue an invoices to all these new customers who have ordered items online. So how I can actually create or add a new customers as well as issue invoices. Plus, I have one business who approached me and asked me to issue invoices every week going forward until end of summer. So how I can set up a recurring sales invoice on accounting. Let's have a look on next section called sales. Now let's have a look at sales section. So I need to add new customers, issue invoices, as well as set up recurring invoice for one of the customers who required to have an invoices by end of summer. Okay, so let's go to section called sales on left hand side. Here we have two subsections called invoices and customers. Let's go through customers first. Click on new customer. Okay, a new customer has top section which is general, followed up by billing section. Yeah, so let's fill in details. My customer is Lucy Green. If I have email address, I should provide it here. So in my case, I will provide my email address so I can show how invoice will look like. I can invite to client portal if I would want to enable using client portals for them. Okay. Yeah, if you have phone number, website or reference, add it in these fields, otherwise you can leave blank. Under billing, you need to select currency. So I'm issuing invoices in British pounds, but if your currency is American dollars or maybe euros, update to one which this customer prefers receive invoices in which currency. Okay. Under address, let's fill in details. So I have Green Street, I will have London and postcode, and click save. Okay, so here is Lucy's contact card. On left hand side there is address and there is icon showing that customer client portal have not been enabled. At the top I can issue new invoice or income, I can edit this customer, I can send customer statements, and I can also duplicate or delete this customer. So when I will duplicate, I can change details. For example, I have John White. Email address need to be different. I cannot use the same email address. System will not allow me to send details. It will notify that I'm trying to use the same email address. It's the same. Invite to client portal, billing address, billing details, so I will have White Street, and save. Okay, now I have a list of my clients, so if email or phone have been provided, you'll be able to see here. Also, over every customer you can click on show, so you'll be able to see client's card or contacts card, edit, duplicate and delete. If I select, I can enable or disable, so make active or inactive, delete, export and clear selections. So I will add a couple more customers. Okay, so this is a list of my current customers, but I can always add a new customer when I'm issuing invoice. So in my case, I need to issue invoice to Lucy. So if I can go through invoices section, or when I click on Lucy, I can add an invoice from drop down list here. So click invoice. And now I need to fill in details. There is a couple of sections on this invoice, so I have company details. So when I click on this drop down list, it expands. Here I can change actually title of an invoice. For example, if I need to send pro forma invoice before sending invoice, I can actually amend this title here and then add it later to main invoice. Or maybe if you need to send a quote, you can amend this title saying that it's sales quote. Just a way how you can go around. Also, you can use or upload your logo and change an address if you need to change here. Okay, next section is a billing information. Here we can add details to our invoice, what we will issue. So invoice date, I will go back to third invoice. Its invoice number is starting from 1. I will just leave the sequence as it is, and due date is 13th of June. So I can ask to be paid immediately, or I can amend and select any date from this little calendar. Okay, if there is order number, what customer asks you to quote, add it here, otherwise just leave it blank. Okay, let's add an items. So Lucy have purchased from me masks, and she purchased blue, green and red. Those were my first items. Price is automatically added because that's when I added to items section under here, and I said that sales price is 150. So she ordered from me 20 masks of each color, and plus I have also shipping to charge. So let's search by shipping, and shipping cost is 199. So delivery I'm charging 199 additional to an invoice. If I would like to add discount, add it here, either set amount or as a percentage from amount, you can add it here. So for example, if client have met certain level, for example if ordered more than £50 worth of order, we can add a discount. For example, shipping charges will be what's happened? Okay, 199. Okay, so that was weird. Okay, so 199 is removed, so there is no shipping charge applied because, for example, Lucy, in my case this client, have shopped with me for more than £50. Okay, I can add notes, for example how this customer should pay to me. When I click on advanced, I can add more details in footer section, and also I can select a sales category. So if I have added more different categories, like I have added here, but you can go to settings section and add categories if you want to split your sales. So I have split my sales between products what I'm selling. So I will select sales masks, and I can attach if I have any attachments to add here. Okay, next I can save or send to directly. I will click save. So if you save invoice, it will be in a draft status at the moment. So I can still edit invoice, clicking on create section, or I can send. So if I can send via email, marks this invoice as a send, or I can also share a link if I wish to. And then if this invoice has been paid already by a customer, I can add a payment, or I can accept payments online. When I click on accept payments online, I will be presented with multiple payment methods that is more applicable or more in line what your business would like to use. There is also fees, how much it would cost to you. So as you can see, there is a Stripe, PayPal, Klarna, crypto.com. So you can select any of those and connect to accounting software. Okay, so let's go back to our invoice, to my invoice. Okay, so there is Lucy's invoice. We can see all details here, and it is in draft status. So when I click on that invoice, I can send or mark as send. So let's send an email. So it will send to her email. I added my email address to show, but I can still change subject. I can change body. I can bold it, make an italic or underline. Also, if I want to add the numbering, so like choose formatting as you want, and send a copy to myself to make sure that I have received. If you wish to have a copy in your mailbox, if you send lots of invoices and customers complain that they haven't received, maybe send to yourself. In that case, you are 100% guaranteed that if you receive copy, customer would have received that invoice as well. And click send. Okay, so invoice has been emailed, okay, and it's showing when invoice has been sent on 13th of June. It's showing. So when I'm going back to invoices, so I have status as sent. I can view it, I can edit, I can duplicate, and I also can print, download, share a link, send again email, cancel all or delete. When I select this particular invoice, at the top I have option to mark as sent. So for example, if it's in draft status, you can mark this as sent from top section, and you can select multiple invoices and mark as sent. You can cancel, delete, export, and also clear selection. So now let's go to my email. It went to under my promotions, and it's saying, hey, okay, this is not my invoice. So where is my invoice? Oh, there is my invoice. That was like invitation from accounting. Okay, so there is an invoice, how it looks like. So it's sent to Lucy, kind of only through my email, to showing how it looks like. There is details of invoice, and also there is an attached copy of invoice as well, with details and information showing that there was discount applied. So system actually calculated that is 2% out of all amount. Okay, so let's go back to system. Let's issue a couple more invoices to my customers. Okay, when I go to invoice section now, I can select these two invoices which are in draft status, and I can mark as sent, confirm, and this been sent. So I can use this status when I actually dispatching items, so I can mark those as a sent. Okay, so now I need to issue a recurring invoice. So under annual invoices, there is second tab called recurring templates. From here, click on new recurring invoices, and we will be able to create a recurring invoice. So in my case, I have a Events Limited who requested to issue invoices every week till end of summer. Okay, so at the top we can change header information, my details, logo and title if needed, and add a customer. We can add a new customer, completely new. There will be pop-up. You can add under general, add a name, and if you have email address or tax number plus changing currency, you can do under general. Under address, add address details of this customer, and under others there is a website and a reference if need to be reference. Okay, so let's select Events Limited, auto generated, payment due. You can give or select one of the due days provided, so I will say upon receipt. Okay, an order number, if you want, you can add it here. So add an items. So I had masks, so I had request for black masks, and every week I have had an order for 100, and they cost 175 each. Then I have blue masks, it's the same order for 100. And then I have also special masks, and those request was 100, and their price is £2 per each. Okay, I can add a shipping cost, which search shipping 199. Because order is quite big, my shipping charge actually have increased, and it will be $3.99 for delivering these items. Okay, then next section is schedule. From schedule we can repeat this invoice, like we need to add a schedule, so how often and how many times or until what date. So this will be weekly. And create first invoice need to be created on Friday and end either after, on or never. So after it's been how many, after certain count of invoices, this recurring invoice will stop. On, there is particular date when this should stop, or recurring invoice should stop, or never, so it will mean ongoing until this recurring invoice is cancelled or stopped. So on will mean on a particular date. So when I click on calendar, request was by end of summer, and summer ends on 30th of September as per terms and conditions. Okay, under advance we can add information under footer section, and then select category, which is masks in my case, and I can attach a contract or agreement or letter in writing what's been provided for me for this request, and click save. So now recurring invoice, customer invoice, so RCI, recurring customer invoice, has been created. On right hand side you can see how the invoice will look like when it's distributed out to customer. We can still edit here by clicking here. Schedule, we can see a schedule, so next invoice will be on 24th June and ends on 30th September, and there is no currently invoices created automatically. At the top I can issue new recurring invoice, I can edit this recurring invoice, or I can also duplicate, end recurring, or delete. So when I go back to sales under invoices and go to tab recurring templates, I can see my recurring template here. So I can still from this template click on show, edit, duplicate, or end or delete. I have been selling masks by nearby shopping mall, and there's so many people buying these little friends, it's just crazy. So I have cash sales from previous couple of weeks and as well from this weekend. Plus I have incurred cash expenses because I have been traveling from my property to here and setting myself up. So how I can record cash sales and cash expenses on accounting. Hello? Which one mask you prefer? Oh, you want two, okay. I have different colors and I have special. Oh, you want special? Yeah, I have white ones. 1, 2, 2. Here we go. Yep. So how I can record cash expenses or cash sales, or maybe other expenses or other income or sales on accounting. There are two places where we can do it. Either we can go through banking section and there is transactions. And from here we can add new income at top or new expense. Also we have quick links. So when we click on plus sign on left hand side, we can add here expense or we can add an income. So let's start with cash sales. Let's add an income first. So I can select a date. So as I said, last couple of weeks or weekends, I've been selling masks on next to big shopping mall. So on Saturday, I will put in cash, I made in sales £280. Okay, and I can assign category, so sales of masks, and if I want I can assign to particular customer, otherwise I can leave blank because this is a cash sale. There is other reference to use. If you want you can reference, so I can say cash sales and I can add a date 04/6/2022 for example, and I can add an attachment if I have some record, some form, so I can take a picture and upload to reference that what sales I have made. Okay, click save. Okay, so this is a transaction for cash sales made on 4th of June. Let's add new income. Oh, before adding new income, I can edit this entry, I can duplicate, I can connect, print, download, share, send email and delete. So when I click connect, I can add an invoice and connect to particular invoice which been actually for which I have received, for example, cash sales. So if I have issued invoice to Lucy but she have paid in cash, that is the way how I can link these particular cash sales. Okay, so let's add new income. So I had sales on 5th June as well, and it was in cash. Okay, so cash sale for second day of the weekend has been added. So if I have an invoices which been paid in cash, let's record that one. So for example, Lucy, £90, she paid in cash. So how I can record it? Let's add new income. And she paid on 10th, and it was in cash. And amount £90. Category masks. Okay, I can add reference if there is, and click save. Now I want to connect this cash receipt with a particular invoice, and in this case I have Lucy's invoice number 1, which I want to allocate to this cash payment. Yeah, so invoice with Lucy Green. Click save. Okay, so now cash for £90 been allocated to invoice, but it's received in a cash. Okay, so this is how we can record cash sales and also allocate cash sales to particular invoice. Okay, next, how we can record cash expenses. So click on quick links expense, or you can go through bank transactions through here and click on new expense at the top. So let's add new expenses. So on 4th of September, when I was going to sell my masks nearby shopping mall, I paid with cash from cash account, and I paid £20 for train ticket. Okay, and category, I can look up and I will select travel, but if category is not there, you can click on new category and add new category here. For example, if there is meals, or maybe there is what else, entertainment maybe, you can add it here and click save, and that category will be provided. So in my case I have travel, and I have travel there. If I have vendor to allocate, I can allocate, but because it's just cash expense, I will not add details. I can add company here. For example, I have Train Limited. Okay, I can attach expense. So I have parking, petrol. Where was my train? Okay, I haven't got receipt for my train, so I will save this one in this case. Okay, so it's been paid in cash. I can add a new transaction. I can edit this current transaction. Also, I can duplicate, connect, print, download, share, send via email, or delete. Okay, let's add new transaction for parking, as I had parking there. So on 5th, I went with my car and I paid with I paid in cash. Let's say cash, and I paid £25 per parking. Okay, parking. I will select new category, we'll call parking, and I will select expense code blue. Okay, and I can add a reference if I have receipt number. So receipt for 25 is here, and my receipt number, so okay, 18012123334. Okay, that's the reference number, and I can attach for parking my receipt, which is there. Click open, and receipt got attached there, and click save. Okay, so now this is for receipt what I paid in cash. Okay, amount 25, and I have also attached file and I can download attached file at a later point if needed. So now, how to record cash expense if I have paid in cash for particular invoice. So for example, if I go to purchases and look at the bills, and I have bill for $33.90 from Buy Limited, and I have paid in cash, then I can add this through expenses. So let's add new expense. $2006 cash, and $33.90. Okay, and invoice paid. Okay, category, it was cost of sales for materials, and I can select vendor. So if I select vendor, it will make life easier to select. Can I cancel vendor? Yeah, okay, cancel. I will just leave blank at the moment, and I can add a reference. So I had another, so I paid in cash, this one, and invoice is quite interesting, DLS 21001358. So that's my receipt. Now I can upload. They are going through green limited invoice if needed, like okay, as a business trading. Click save, and now I can at the top I can connect to that particular supplier invoice. So when you click add bill, we can select Buy Limited. This is Buy Limited invoice, and click save. So this will mark supplier invoice as paid. Okay, and $33.90 is added here. Okay, and as we can see, it's being paid in cash. An invoice for sales, what we had issued to our customer, Lucy, being marked as paid through cash account as well here. So this is a way how we can record new income or new expenses, cash expenses or cash sales, or any other income or expenses through accounting software. So I just finished to pack my last order for today. This was one of the biggest orders, and I have received deposit from this customer already, but I'm not sure how my bank on accounting actually compares with my actual bank. Is it matched? How about reconciliations? Also, I need to pay suppliers. So let's have a look on next section called banking. So let's have a look at banking now. We had money in and money out, and also I had cash sales and cash expenses and some transactions in bank account. So when we go to left hand side under banking section, we have accounts section. Here we can add any other new accounts if we have, for example, in different currencies. To add a new account, you need to click on new account at the top right corner, and here you can select an information, either it will be bank account or credit card account. So in my case, I have bank account. Name, I will have Rita's bank. Number, so it's 8. It will be in pounds, but if you have different currencies, you can select in which currency you have set up this account, or you can click on new currency and add new currency here. It also allows you to select rate, code, and add name. Yeah, okay. Opening balance, if you have any opening balance in this account, you can add it here, but if you start from £0, leave it blank. So in my case, I have £500 in this account. Is it default account? No, it's not default account. I have a another account is my main account. Okay, bank name. So bank name, I will have current account. Okay, and if there is bank address, I can add bank address. Okay, I think so. Did I call it way around wrongly? Okay, let's check. Click save. Let's go to my accounts. So it is Rita's bank current account, and this is my business account. Let's edit. You can click on this pen and we can edit account, and I will call this one business account. Okay, so let's go back. So now I have opening balance here, I have transactions happening in this account, and I have also cash account. Let's edit this cash account because I haven't added any opening balance. So this is a cash account, a number, I will just add 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so it don't show only one, don't like one number. And here I had an opening balance, so I actually invested £500 as my cash from my personal borrowings for this cash account. Okay, and it is cash, and that's fine. Click save. Okay, so now I can see any transfers what I have made. For example, if I have transferred from cash into my bank account, and any transactions what have happened in my cash account. So I can see I have money ins and money outs happening. So I had incomings of 680, outgoings of 78.90, and I have current balance of 1,101.10. However, this is not true because I actually banked in £800 in my business account. So when I go to transfer section, I can add a new transfer, and I can select from which account I transferred into which. So I transferred in my, I think so, Rita's bank first one, and I can select that date when I've done it, and I've done it on 10th. I can select, no, let's say today. And I can select amount, how much I actually transferred, and I transferred 1,000. And description, cash deposit, is it correct term? I think so. Payment method, paid cash into bank account. Okay, and click save. Okay, so this is a receipt of a transfer. I can edit, duplicate, I can print, download, I can choose template, or I can actually delete this transfer. Okay, let's go back to accounts. And now my outstanding balance of cash is £101.10. Okay, so if I select this bank account, I can enable, disable. So if it's not active anymore and I don't use cash payments anymore, I can make inactive this account. I can delete, and also I can clear. So if I go to my cash account, on right hand side under transactions, I can see all transactions what have been happening in cash. So mainly I can see invoice, so one of customers paid in cash, and I also paid for materials to one of my suppliers. And then there is cash expenses for parking, for sales of masks, so 4th and 5th of June there's a cash sales at that weekend jobs what I've done by selling from my stand masks next to shopping mall. Okay, so next account. So first about cash talking, I have £101.10 in my money box, and this matches, so this is reconciled. Okay, next, when we're looking under business account, I can see that I have an incoming 1,000, outgoing 444.05, and current balance I have 1,555.95. But this is not fully correct because I have received money from couple of customers. So when I click on invoices, I can see that only Lucy, which I marked as a paid in cash, has been marked as paid. But also John, Sarah, they paid me already for these invoices as well. So how to mark these invoices as paid? So when I click on this invoice, I can add payment here. Okay, I can select date when this person paid. So this person paid me on 10th, 150, and bank transfer, and this is my defaulted bank account. So I can select, or I can select business account, or if person paid in cash. In my case, it is paid in my business account, and click save. Okay, so payment being recorded, and there is information where and how much being received in my account. Okay, let's go to invoices. And let's look at Sarah. She actually paid me deposit. So how I can record deposits? The same way, add payment, and she paid me deposit on 8, and she paid me £200 as a deposit on 8 when I issued invoice and I was dispatching stock. And it was the same, it was bank transfer, or I can select the backs, and it was in my business account, and click save. Okay, so this recorded the payment of 200 on 8th of June. Then she paid rest of an amount on 10th of June. That's when was payment due. So I can select 10th, 212.50 was outstanding, click save. So now both payments being recorded here. I can also send receipt confirmation of that I have received that money and recorded. I can edit payment, or I can also delete this particular payment, and you can do under every single invoice what you are marking as paid. Yeah, and let's go to invoices more, and here I have Sarah's invoice, and she paid 187.50 as well, and she paid on 10th of June. So add payment, 10th of June, 87.50, and click save. So now I haven't got outstanding receivables, so that means that customers have paid me in full. Also, I have paid a couple of suppliers, and to mark supplier invoices paid is the same way, similar to way as we marking invoices from customers as paid. So there have been a couple invoices already paid, marked as paid. So when I entered supplier invoice, I paid it immediately, so I could mark it paid. So for example, this invoice from Buy Limited is due on 15th of June, but I actually paid it today. So add a payment and select the date when you made a payment. So in my case, I made today for 150, bank transfer, and select from which bank account. So I paid from my business account, and click save. So if you accept online payments, you can enable that feature there. I can send receipt, edit payments, and delete payments. So I can send like a remittance to my supplier advising that I have made a payment for this particular invoice. Okay, so next, under bills, I have, what else I have? Buy Limited was due on 9th of June, and I paid this invoice on 10th, so 1 day later, in full, and click save. So this is way how we can mark supplier invoices and customer invoices as paid. Still have post left and rent limited invoice to pay. Okay, so now when I go back to banking, and when I click on an account, My balance on my bank account is 2,296, and that is made of all these transactions, cash expenses, or even if I have paid with a card for my travels and etc. It will show up here if I have defaulted to coming out from my bank account. Yeah, so all this coming out from my bank account or coming into my bank account. Yeah, so I have incoming of 1,750. 1,000 includes also received funds from my cash. Then I have 747.04 as outgoing, and I have current balance of 2,296. And when I click on transactions on next section, here I can see all my transactions what have been made. If I have any recurring transactions, for example, I have set up a standard direct debit payment for, let's say, mobile phone bill every month, I can create a recurring template, recurring expense template, and I can set it up so going forward it's automatically post transaction. One of those are bank fees. So for example, I have bank fees for £10, and it is in my business account, and payment method I will leave bank transfer, and I can put that this is bank charges. Okay, and I can assign to bank charges or bank fees. I have bank fees there. I can add a vendor if I have one, or I can select one, and now I can write or select details of this schedule. So repeat this transaction every month, and first transaction need to happen, I will leave today, and it will never end, it will ongoing until this bank charges fee will change. Okay, and I can add a reference if I want, otherwise leave blank, and I can add attachment if you have one. Okay, and click save. So this will create a transaction every month for bank fees, as you can see, bank fees here, or bank charges. Yeah, so when I go back banking to transactions, recurring templates, and I can see I have expense, bank fees set up, and I can view, I can edit, duplicate, and I can also end. And of course, if I select it, I have no options at the top for this one. Okay, so I can add another new recurring income. So if customers paying in, or I have cash coming in every month or week, then that can be set up, and new recurring expense can be set up. So there would be your list building up for all recurring templates based on your transactions happening in bank or even in cash accounts. Okay, so all these are the transactions what have happened in these past 2-3 weeks. When I click on transfers, here will be a list of any transfers made between bank accounts, or in my case I had transfer between cash and my bank account, so it was for £1,000. But if I decide to transfer from my business account to current account, click on new transfer. I will select my one account going to another account. I can select date when I'm making this transfer, and I will say that I am making for 500. Okay, and click save. When I go back to transfers, list of all my transfers what I have made, there is another transfer from one bank account into another bank account. Yeah, so when I click on my account, my balance for current account should be 1,000, and my business account balance is 1,502.96. So this is how we can record transactions, but we need to reconcile bank account. Is this 1,502.96 matching my balance at the end of 13th of June on my actual bank account in my bank. So to do reconciliation, you need to go to reconciliation section, click on new reconciliation, okay, and then where's the restart date? So I will select from 1st of June. End date, I will select today, and closing balance as per my bank statement is 1502.96. So select the bank which you want to reconcile. In my case, it is my bank account, business bank account, and click on transactions. So this will filter out transactions for my bank account. Now, this is my closing balance on 13th of June, and you need to select transactions and see if there is a difference. And if there is a difference, that means that something is missed, maybe not posted, or money what have been received, or money maybe been refunded, and those been not recorded transactions. So let's select all my transactions and check if I have difference at the bottom. Okay, so see, if I haven't selected last 3 ones, it's showing that there is difference of 144.05 and difference 62.05. So I have no difference. So closing balance will match with my bank account balance. So I can save as a draft this reconciliation, or I can click reconcile. If you click reconcile, all those transactions what's been posted will be reconciled and closed. So from 1st of June till 13th of June, on 13th of June, closing balance was 1502.96, and this being reconciled now. So when I go to reconciliations, if you will make multiple reconciliations per month, all those reconciliations will show in a list below. When I select this reconciliation, I can click reconcile and reconcile. In that case, if I maybe have posted outgoing payment to wrong invoice, so you will need to unreconcile and go step by step back to make sure that you can allocate those payments correctly to correct invoices. And I can delete and I can clear, so I do not want to do anything. So new reconciliation, for example, I will have for 13th of June, I have 110, how much was my cash account? 101.10, okay? So new reconciliation. So for example, on 13th of June, I had closing balance of, let's say, £110 on my cash account. I can click on transactions, and these are all transactions for cash account. So when I select all these transactions, it shows difference of £8.90. So I'm telling that I have on hands £110, but actually in my system or accounting, I have only 101.10. So that means that I have received £8.90 more, or maybe I have recorded transaction as a rounded number. For example, this train ticket, instead of having £20, it was only £11.10. In that case, there might be difference. So this needs to be investigated. So I can save as a draft and investigate what is the difference and why this difference is caused. And you can see this is in progress, and I don't know why showing bank, I selected a cash account. So to reconcile my cash account. So this section covers banking. If you need to send statements to vendors or your customers, go to those lists, for example to vendors list, click on let's say Buy Limited. In my case, we can click at the top, there is vendor statement, and if you want to send vendor statements, it is a paid feature, so it is $3 per month. And the same if you go to customers, we want to send customer statements out from here. For example, I will have Lucy and I want to send customer statement out. It's $3 per month as well. So in this section I covered banking, and also if you want to send statements to customers once you have reconciled your bank, and to make sure that all information what is on every customer or supplier account is up to date and correct. These parcels are ready to be shipped. I just need to label them up. These are the last masks what will be dispatched to customers. Also, I have paid all my suppliers, so I have no liabilities to any of my mask suppliers. And now I'm in dilemma and wondering, shall I purchase another batch of masks and then resell? Or maybe I should concentrate on different type of product. To find out answers to my concerns, worries, or in simple words, questions, let's have a look on next section called reports. So let's have a look at reports. So left hand side got section called reports. And here we have income expenses section and called accounting. Under income and expenses, I can see expense summary, income summary, income versus expenses, and accounting, which I have profit and loss statement for quarterly profit and loss by categories. So let's have a look what we have available, and then I will show you how we can create a custom reports. For example, instead of having profit and loss by quarterly, to see actually profit and loss month-on-month basis. So let's have a look on expense summary first. This is monthly expense summary by categories, and I can see on closer to left hand side my expense. So I have spent on masks about £365, and on materials 81, I'm rounding a little bit up, and on packaging £129. Also I had parking, phone, internet, rent bills, and travel. So this information what I can see in this June month. If I will have multiple months, you will see how this graph is built up here. Okay, so I can print, export our schedule report if I want, and also I can mark this as a favorite report. Okay, I'll mark this as a favorite, click on that star and it will mark as a favorite. Let's go back to report. Okay, and we can pin my report to the top. So expense summary is showing at the top now. If I click on three dots, I can edit this report, duplicate, or also delete if I don't want to use it. So let's have a look on income summary. So income summary is on masks I have made 2.3k, on straws I have £49 and 39 on wooden forks. I should know one important thing. This is on accrual basis, so this report shows all income based on invoices issued. So this is not based on cash received or cash paid out. If you look at expenses, if you see accrual here, this means that invoices issued or income recorded, that's how it show up here. We can create a report which shows cash. So that means that once you receive money, it doesn't matter when you issued invoice, we can create income summary report to show on cash basis. Yeah. So likewise with expenses, when there will be multiple months, report will show up here, and we would be able to click and see how much in each month income we have made. Also, we can print, export schedule report and mark as a favorite. And when I go to reports, and I can pin this income summary to top. If you want to use cash reports, let's remove it and we can pin our cash reports at the top. Okay, let's have a look on accounting section called profit and loss. So how much profit and loss I have made on accruals basis, I think so this will be, yeah, this is accruals basis. So we'll go back to cash basis in a minute. So looking at accruals basis, that means that all invoices issued to customers, all invoices, supplier invoices recorded on my accounting account, plus any cash expenses and cash sales recorded as well. So I have made 2.4k in income, and on expenses I have 1.1k. So I have made whopping profit of 1.3k. That's great. That's amazing. But as I said, this is on accruals basis. If I'm sole trader or self-employed person, I need to submit self-assessment. Accruals basis is not good to me if I use a cash basis accounting. So how we can create a how I can start again. How I can create report based on cash basis. Okay, to create new report, click on this new report at the top. Here I can enter name, so I will add profit and loss monthly, and I will add cash. Okay, select type, I will add profit and loss, and I can add a description, so I will add description the same, profit and loss. Shall we shorten up P&L, which stands for profit and loss, monthly and on cash basis. Now I want to group by category. Period, I want to have monthly, and basis, this is the area where I can select that I want to see cash. So it doesn't matter if I have issued invoices, but if I have not received the money or marked invoices as paid, that invoices will not show up on my income profit and loss statement under income section. So this is on cash basis, profit and loss statement. Click save. And now when I go to accounting section, I have P&L monthly, and I put in brackets cash. So this is report what I want to pin to top, because that's my report what I will use for my self-assessment, because I'm submitting my self-assessment report as a sole trader business based on cash-based method, accounting method. Okay, so let's have a look how well I have done looking at cash-based accounting method. So if I'm looking under June, I have made a profit of 2.3 or 2.4 if I'm rounding up. And you can see that if I'm looking on cash basis, I have sales from masks and sales from straws, and there is no more sales from wooden forks what I was selling. So if I click profit and loss statement here, you can see I had 3 categories. So I had here invoice issued, but I haven't received money yet. So if you are not careful about the basis method, you might incorrectly report information. So looking cash basis, I have 2.4 almost, and in expenses I have 825. So I had about £1,000 in expenses. So there is invoices which are still outstanding what I need to pay suppliers and I haven't paid. And I have net profit of £1.5 thousand. Whoop whoop. Amazing, right? I'm excited. I hope you are excited as I'm excited to look at this report. Okay, so how we can create income and expense reports for based on cash basis. In the same way, click on new report. I will add income, cash, type. I will have income summary, description. Ooh. And I can select, I will group by category, customer or account. So I can group by, let's say, customer in this case. and I can select monthly, quarterly, or annual, so yearly, and I will leave at a quarterly level and cash basis, and click save. So you can create your report how you want them to look like. So income cash is here, my report. And now I can see income by every customer based on cash accounting method, not on accruals accounting method. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 customers who have paid, and they paid me 1.7k. Yeah, so not a lot in reports, which is straightforward and good. And so profit and loss statement combines income and expenses, and you can have a separate report for income and expenses if you want as well. When we go to dashboard shows an insight of receivables and payables. So there is 39.10 overdue. So if I click on 39.10 overdue and looking on that information, can I view report? Okay, that's paid service. Easiest way is to go to purchases, click on the bills, and I will see which invoices I still have. So this invoice was due 3 days ago and 33.90, so I haven't paid by limited. Okay, so I can sort by due date when I click on due date. So I can see that this invoice was 1 week ago, received, and information provided there. So when I go back to dashboard, I have another side which is payables. This is what's need to be paid, and receivables, what's need to be received. And then there is a cash flow. In pink, that is how much I have spent, and in green, how much I have received. So it's showing that my profit is 1536, and cash flow is based on cash accounting method. So this would balance to your profit and loss on cash basis based. Yeah, profit and loss statement. Here is a report, and expenses by categories can be seen on right hand side, and also see account balances. That means how much money you have in account. So simple and insightful. Dates can be changed at the top. I can look at this year, previous year, and 12 months or quarters, etc. Yeah, so now we covered accounting software. This is for free, so all what we could do, this you do not need to pay to use accounting software, and I think so it's quite easy and straightforward. And yeah, the most interesting part for me was reports. So I think so that's it. We covered reports. There is calendar and apps to cover, but I will not go in details. You can have a look for yourself if you are interested in that part. So reports are covered now. Okay guys, I hope you found my accounting tutorial useful. But if you have any questions or require any further advice, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in next episode. Bye!